Hi, my name is Justin Odisho, and in this Adobe Premiere Pro CC tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can easily censor logos and objects or even faces and people in your videos using some simple effects and mask tracking that can be useful in other effects as well. So the first thing I have is just a clip on my timeline, and in this case we just have this shoulder patch on her spacesuit, and I'm going to head over to the effects panel and search for one called Mosaic. This is under the stylized video effects folder. Now when I click and drag this on to my video clip, you'll see we get two options in the effect controls panel. That's horizontal block size and vertical block size. So you can make these bigger or smaller blocks, but you basically just want something that pixelates and essentially censors the image so that you can't see what's going on in it. Perhaps you can get some of the original color going on, but you no longer see any letters or shapes. Now, I don't want this actually over the whole image, and that's where effect masks come in. Under any effect in the effect controls panel, you can choose to create an ellipse, 4-point, or pen tool mask. In this case, an ellipse will work well because this is a circular patch, and if you're working in the reference window, you do just want to be in the program window so you can see your mask options. And this is the default ellipse it creates, but you can move it around to any portion of the image that you want the mosaic effect to be applied onto. Now in my case, I'm going to make it smaller just to be on this shoulder patch. You also have some options for the mask feathering, which will soften it out, or expansion. So you can expand or shrink it down a little bit if your mask wasn't just right. You also have opacity, so if for some reason you just wanted 50% strength of the effect, you can do that as well. But in this case, we're censoring it, so I'm going to do 100%. Invert as well is another option for you to kind of censor everything but that object. And that can come in handy for other ideas. So in this case, I'm going to make my mask kind of close to the circle. I'm actually going to go all the way back to the first frame because as the object moves or the video moves, your mask is constantly going to fall out of place and no longer do its job covering or censoring what you needed to. This is where keyframes come into play. So I've done a tutorial similar on this on how to do it by hand, but one useful thing we're going to do, so I'm going to make sure I'm in the program window. I'll start off on the very first frame and just put my mask pretty close up to that patch where I want it. So this is what it'll look like, even though some of it is out of frame. Now, traditionally, you could maybe move forward a couple frames. Actually, first you want to click the stopwatch icon to toggle animation. That'll add a keyframe. And traditionally, you can move forward a bit. And once it goes out of place, maybe highlight mask 1. Again, if you ever want to get this blue circle to show up, just make sure you highlight mask 1. And then I could move it. And so I could just keep moving forward and moving the mask to create these keyframes and make sure the mask constantly stays on. But an easier way to do that for most examples is to just start on the first frame. And if you press this play button, it'll track that mask based on the contrast within the image. If there's too many things moving in front of your object, or if a hand covers it up, or she turns angles, that's where you might want to stop and do things by hand, do some manual keyframing. But for an example like this, where it's just a walking shot, her shoulders moving back and forth, this is going to work pretty well. So once your tracking is done playing, you'll see it'll have created a keyframe for every single frame of this image. That's why it might take longer if your clip is longer. But in this case, it's done a pretty perfect job of censoring. Again, if it's not exactly where you want it to, you could maybe lower the mask feather, increase the mask expansion a bit, if it's kind of not covering up enough edges. But in this case, we've perfectly censored out that patch or logo on the shoulder, and I actually didn't have to do any manual adjustment. If I did need to do some manual adjustment, I could just stop wherever I needed to do that, maybe delete a section of the keyframes and try to work them in by hand for moments where something happens or they turn away from the camera. But in this case, we've done a great job. And also, this can be cool for other effects. Like if I inverted the mask, Now we have sort of a spotlight effect where everything but our masked out area is being shown. Another example you can do with the same idea is, in this case, I just created an opacity mask instead of an effect mask. Did the same thing with the tracking and the feathering, except I did it on a duplicated layer on top. So I have the original layer, I duplicated it, put it on top, same clip underneath, and then for the clip underneath, I just lowered the opacity. So I lowered the opacity, we create a sort of spotlight effect in this way. You do the same idea on, instead of just on one track on an effect, on two separate tracks, same clip, and just create a difference between the two layers from an effect and the original clip. So hopefully you picked up a couple cool effect tips and mask tips from this tutorial. My name is Justin Odisho. You can check out a bunch of other tutorials in the playlist on my channel and subscribe here on YouTube to stay tuned for all of my future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.